Hey, hey, Intuitive Soul Tribe. Mel, Intuitive Coach here, excited to bring to you today's collective reading. Welcome back if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, collective, where are we going today? Right away, I'm getting the message of remembrance and legacy, and I'm hearing in order to be remembered, leave nothing behind but love. In order to be remembered, leave nothing behind but love. And as I say that, one of your big energies coming out is self-love, and it's actually in the position here of what you have achieved in 2024, or a big lesson that you have been implementing more into your life. So you could be ending 2024 with love, even for the things that were difficult and challenging, or for the people that may have challenged you. There's a lot of growth that you've gone through. So you could be thinking about saying goodbye to 2024 with a kiss, right? It feels a little bit bittersweet. It's like you're blowing a kiss to 2024 and you're saying, all right, thank you. Thank you for what I've learned, but I'm definitely ready for a new adventure, a new journey. And I see that showing up here for you. I see a new journey ahead with the Wanderlust card. And I feel like it's time. Now is the time for you to dream big. Now is the time for you to really take off in an area that maybe you felt held back on in some way, which we'll clarify. But I feel like you're getting ready, possibly for travel. You could be getting ready to launch a business here. Maybe this is taking a relationship to the next step. But starting off, you have choices. This is all about being between both worlds, right? Not quite out of 2024 and into 2025, but I also feel like this is a choice that you've been maybe going back and forth with on quite some time. And I feel like you're working on how to fulfill that direction. Like, how do you make the crossover? How do you implement that change? How can you bring balance to both of these worlds? Especially if you are working a full-time job, but you're over here trying to build up a business. Maybe this is, health. You don't want to cut out everything and completely deny yourself, but you also want to be healthy and you want to feel more energy and vitality. So I do feel like there are some choices that you're making, but you're finding balance within those choices and maybe how to integrate both of these worlds together. Some of you, this is two people coming together, but how do we blend and integrate two lives into one? And because I also see a separation here of paths, this could be the opposite. Like, how do you take one life that you've built and branch off and go in a new direction? So let's clarify, why is choice showing up here as the main energy for collective here? What do these choices have to do with? What are they all about? And what can we do to help you move forward? Okay, we have Four of Coins, letting go. This can be difficult. We let go of things that we struggle to hang on to, right? It sounds like a contradiction here. We fight to hang on, we fight to let go. And some of you, this has to do with health or finances, or it could be something that, was a comfort zone. Sometimes the Four of Coins can be a comfort zone, or it's that you're protecting something. You're protecting what you've built. So it would be taking a risk to go off in a new direction because you don't want to lose that sense of safety and security. But in order to grow, sometimes we have to leave that comfort zone. And that's the choice that you are needing to make or implement here. And it doesn't mean that by going in this new path or going in this direction that you're going to lose anything at all. But sometimes that's the story, that's the belief that we tell ourselves. We tell ourselves that if we let go, it's not going to be better than something we're leaving behind. But the fact is, if we're already contemplating moving in a new direction, it is because we have outgrown a situation and we're meant to expand our consciousness or take something to the next level or to, step into courage and bravery by stepping outside of that comfort zone. So 4 of Coins showing up here is also about materialism. It's about affection. Maybe someone was withholding affection, but another person was hanging so hard onto that so-called love, but yet someone was rejecting it or someone wasn't even giving that affection back. And I just said this in another reading the other day. I can't recall who it was for. Maybe it was for your last collective, around if someone does not want you, whether it be a lover, whether it be a job, whether it be, a friendship, if someone does not want you and they've made that clear or they have shown you through their actions, then that person or that job is not for you. If they have communicated it or they have shown you through their actions that you aren't the person that they're choosing, don't hang on to that. Don't hang on to that attachment. And for some of you, that's part of the choice that is difficult, because when we hang on to something, it can cause suffering. I feel like that is the root cause of suffering, is attachment. And so there's definitely some shifts happening here for you. Spirit, what can we do? All right, we're just going to put face up. This is interesting because a lot of the readings lately, I've been shuffling with the cards face up where you can see them. I don't know why. It's something new, but I feel like this is because you now are able to see things potentially. You're now able to see things from a point of view or an angle that maybe was blocked to you. When the cards are this way, you can't see what's on the other side, but it feels like now you're able to see something clearly, but it's like the mind needs to catch up. Now you need to tell the mind, all right, mind, what do we need to do to get up out of this situation? Because we make choices from the heart and then allow the mind to help you figure out how to make that happen. The 5 of Coins. Okay. 5 of Coins is recovering that sense of stability, because the lie is that you're stable where you're at. Okay. The lie is that there's a comfort zone that you are staying in. And you may think that that's stability for you, but really what is stable isn't always in our highest good. Sometimes stability is going back into an environment that's full of toxicity, full of drama, full of abuse, because that's what our conditioning has told us that's what stability is, because that's how someone grew up. Or that's our comfort zone. Maybe it's not necessarily stability in the words, in the context, but it is a comfort zone. And we don't grow within our comfort zone. And that's why you're coming up to this choice that's saying it's time to get uncomfortable. It is time to break out of some sort of hard misfortune. For some of you, this has to do with finances or health. And I feel like there's some choices coming up ahead for you. Spirit, can we look at what's up ahead? What's up ahead, please? Yeah, wow, you're not going to believe this. Now, instead of the 4 of Coins and the 5 of Coins, you have the 4 of Cups and the 5 of Cups. So this is about not wasting another second of your time on regrets, right? Leaving nothing behind but love. Because if we're still sitting in regret, if we're still sitting in remorse or anxiety or whatever feelings that we tend to sit in with the 4 of Cups, sometimes it can be stubbornness, frustration, impatience, lack of inspiration, or even stagnant energy. We tend to sit stagnant in those emotions, right? Whatever that is, Spirit is saying, leave nothing behind but love. Because as you let something go, what we have here is the 5 of Cups, healing. Because when we can fully say, all right, I've left that behind and I've left nothing but love, that is when we fully heal. That is when we know that a lesson has been learned and we don't keep looking back on that old path and second guessing it or questioning it here. So I do see some heavy choices for you, but I feel like you've learned a lot of tools, not just in 2024, but over your lifetime. Now, what have you achieved specifically this last year that is really helping you move towards a new path and a new journey? You have here the card of self-love. You've really learned to put yourself first, collective, and this isn't always easy to do, especially when we are healers, light workers, caregivers. We tend to put everybody else's needs in front of our own. And I feel like this year, I get the sense you were forced in some way to take care of yourself. For some of you, it could have been a health issue. You are forced to look at something because maybe dis-ease that was lying stagnant, Four of Cups, in the body. Emotionally, it may have manifested into a disease. It could have taken over and really, really caught you by, I don't want to say surprise, because our body is constantly giving us signs and messages, but perhaps you thought that if you went in a new direction, it would heal. But I feel like the only way to heal something was to go through it. And you may have had to sit with some uncomfortable emotions for a while in order for you to fully find and come back to that place of self-love. And this is a big achievement that I want you to pat yourself on the back for, because this is acceptance. That is how we get out of the 4 and the 5. We accept that there are things that we cannot change. There are things that are outside of our control, but we also can accept that it's our responsibility to take accountability for our own inherited patterns, for our own self-sabotaging behaviors. And I also feel like you gave yourself some grace and some compassion, or showed yourself some compassion here when it comes to you. Now, this is also about healing, going within, and confidence. So you have this new sense of confidence, I feel, especially around choices. And what that means is you can trust in yourself to make choices, collective, that are in your highest good. And some of you held back on making a choice because you couldn't trust yourself, or you didn't trust in the outcome. You didn't trust the process. Therefore, you may have wavered back and forth in that 2 of Wands energy of stagnation or complacency, maybe even doubt or indecision, because there was a fear of stepping outside the comfort zone. And that's a big lesson that you've learned here. And I feel like now you're putting those lessons to practice, and you're trusting here. You're trusting that you're able to heal this loss and recover a sense of stability. So you're letting go and leaving nothing behind but love. Oh, I'm loving this for you. Let's take a look at, what did you hold back on? You held back on possibly big thinking. Some of you, it could have been a move or making a move here in some way. So maybe 2024, you wanted to travel more, or maybe you did want to relocate, perhaps start up a business where you were able to have financial freedom. And it doesn't mean that you didn't do those things, but I feel like there may have been some blocks with that 4 and the 5, maybe money blocks, emotional blocks. There's some sort of blocks here that have held you back when it comes to allowing yourself to explore new lands, new ideas, new, creative processes here. But the beautiful thing is, this is my Sagittarian energy, the wanderlust. So this could be a really big month where you're saying, all right, no more holding back. I'm going to go travel. I am going to say what I've been wanting to say to an individual. And now is the time to retire. There are some choices that you're faced with in this month, but I feel like these choices are actually exciting to you. You feel quite excited. You don't feel scared, or you're not letting fear, dictate or motivate you to make a choice. I feel like you are excited about some of the new things coming in because it's coming from a place of self-love. You're doing this for you. And yes, it may benefit family. It may benefit the people that you work with, but I actually feel like this is coming in for you. And in 2025, there is no holding back. I feel like you are creating a legacy. You are and will be remembered for your love, for your kindness, for your service to the planet, your service to your family and your friends, but also it means that you're not putting your own needs, wishes, and desires on the back burner. So I feel like this really comes into what I see for you in 2025 because things are going to look a little bit different for you. Let's clarify though, Spirit, what do we have here with Wanderlust? What do we have here with Wanderlust, please? Some of you could be traveling internationally or globally in 2025, or that's been a big dream of yours, but maybe you didn't have the financial means to do so. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the Page of Swords. Let's get one more. And we have the 10 of Wands, dropping those burdens. Okay, so there's an acceptance here, and that's part of the lesson that you've learned. It says acceptance on this card. So you've accepted something. And now that you've accepted it, you're able to let it go. You're able to release it because I do feel like you've carried something quite heavy. Remember, this is in the position of what held you back. Some sort of burden that you were carrying with that 10 of Wands. Some of you, it could have actually been a physical, like back. Some of you, your back. There may have been pain. There could have been a heavy burden. This could be responsibilities. It can be feeling burnt out, seeking help and feeling like you didn't have enough help. But what I see you doing here with the Wanderlust is unburdening maybe one big thing or many small things that have held you back from fully completing a cycle. And that's where you're going into the new year with the Page of Swords. This is strategizing. Remember what I said about making a choice from the heart, but using the brain? At least I think I said that, using the brain to help you figure out how. That's what the Page of Swords does, right? The Page of Swords is ready for a new challenge. He's curious and he's going to dig in and find the facts, find what he needs to find in order to be the best that he can be. And you have the Knight of Cups. So there's the heart. There's the flowing energy of the heart mingled with the brain. So you're using your resources and you're taking action. So this is quite beautiful showing up here. All right, let's look at what you should let go of. We have belief system and it says limiting beliefs there. So you have been working on your beliefs. And I want you to really think of some of those beliefs that disempower you and some of the beliefs that empower you. And that's such a big thing that we don't always think about, right? We just go about our life and, we base on conditioning. We have new beliefs that are set up or incorporated, and we have things that happen that instill those beliefs even more or may even help you create new ones. But we don't oftentimes stop and think about the root of a specific belief that you have. So some of you at this time, that may be what you are being remembered for, or this is going to help you pivot and create a legacy that you are very proud of, right? When you leave this world, you can say, I've left no stones unturned. I'm a good person, right? I have done my place on this earthly realm. And yes, I haven't been perfect, but nobody is. And progress over perfection. And I feel like a lot of you are really shifting into a better belief system that helps you expand, helps you spread your wings. And I'm actually getting here Beach Boys, Kokomo, Key Largo, Montego, Baby, Why Don't We Go? So someone's traveling here. Maybe you're traveling to like Bermuda or Bahamas or Florida Keys or wherever destination is in that song. Someone could be traveling or just big picture thinking, expansive thinking. And I feel like that's part of what you are releasing is your small beliefs of I have to stay confined to a certain way of being or a certain way of living. You could be wanting to travel and do many different things. Now, some of you, maybe it's not travel, but it could be, applying different ways of being yourself and putting that out into the world. So maybe wearing a new hat, basically. So perhaps you've had a certain role or a certain title. Typically we have many, but I feel like some of those hats you're throwing out. You're saying, all right, I've fulfilled that role. I fulfilled that role for the last 20 years, and maybe it's time to put on a new hat. And I feel like that's what you are thinking about right now with the Page of Swords. You see this cute little guy with a big old brain behind him, and he's activating that left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, that intuitive yet logical. And he's coming up with some really great ideas. And he's saying, who do I want to become? And what do I need to do to make this happen? Big picture thinking. What are we letting go of? Limiting beliefs and any sort of self-talk that puts you in a corner, right? Nobody puts baby in a corner. All right, what do we have here for? What are we grateful for? What do we need to be grateful for? Trust. I love this for you. Taking a leap of faith. Fidelity. Honesty. Assessments. Secrets. Commitments, and loyalty. So you may be thinking, Mel, how should I be grateful for secrets? Remember when you were a little kid and you may have pinky swore with your best friend? Look at these two fingers here crossing together, and it's a pinky, right? This tells me that you've made yourself a promise. You've made yourself a promise in this lifetime, collective. You've pinky swore yourself to secrecy in a sense of this is who I want to become. This is what I want to achieve. So whatever that is for you, I feel like there's a sense of gratitude behind it. You're grateful for your loyalty to that secret, to never giving up, even if it's taken a long time, even if it's not quite here yet, even if it has shown up for you in your life, but maybe it looked different. I feel like your commitments are what you're grateful for, right? I'm committed to, my family, or I'm committed to my health practice or my spiritual routine. I'm committed to a higher power. Whatever your Hierophant energy is, right? Hierophant can be our belief systems, our, teachings, our mentorships. I feel like you have a lot to be grateful here. But above all, being able to start again when need be, because the universe never tires of giving second chances. So I'm getting a little bit of Fool energy here and a little bit of the Hierophant. But let's clarify. Spirit, trust showing up as gratitude. What do we need to know about trust? Oh, thank you. Six of Wands. I love that card. Six of Wands and the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is trust. So that makes sense. You're grateful for the challenges that have brought you back to a place of, maybe coming out of denial. Maybe some of you are in denial, or you held yourself back, or maybe there were lies that you believed. I feel like you're now looking back and you're saying, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I went through that experience, because I am who I am today because of it. I'm grateful that, this mask is finally able to come off. I'm able to be who I am meant to be. Maybe you had to wear a mask for many, many years. Maybe some of you were confined by your upbringing. Maybe it was taboo to talk about spirituality and tarot. Perhaps you grew up in a certain cultural dynamic that, you had to abide by, but you feel like it wasn't truly aligned with where you were meant to go, and you broke out of a cycle. There's something here that you took off the mask and you were covered up. It feels like you had to cover yourself up in some way, because maybe there was shame attached, or maybe there was, some sort of hidden deception. You couldn't fully be who you wanted to be. And maybe there was even heartache or heartbreak because other people wore a mask. Other people may have lied or deceived you. But you now can look back on it with gratitude, right? Leave nothing behind but love. Now, you also have the Six of Wands. This is a glorious win. The Six of Wands, when it's showing up here, you've had a lot of falls. You've had a lot of falls from grace. You've been humbled. You've been lied to. Maybe some of you cheated on. You may have been in denial about situations. You may have lied to yourself. You may have lied to yourself to stay in the confinements of some sort of, again, comfort zone. But you have overcome that. And now that you have taken off a mask, now that you've come out of this energy, I feel like you are stronger because of it, and you're proud of yourself for taking that leap, right? With the trust, taking that leap of faith and trusting that if you are brave enough to take off some sort of a mask, that it would be a win for you. And it is. All right, let's look at how 2024 has changed your views on life. Timing. There is a lot going on. You have TikTok energy here. This is the waiting game. This can be divine timing. It's scheduling. It can be planning, results, and patience. You may have been feeling the timelines going crazy, right? I know I have. There's been some moments where I've been completely caught up in it's October 1st, and then before you know it, it's already October 31st, right? Or it feels like you just jumped ahead 5 months, or it may be that you had something come up from 2012 and you haven't thought about that, or it hasn't come up since then. And so you may have been all over the map, but one thing that you really learned is, for one, divine timing is a thing. And divine timing is a thing. So patience. But I also feel like you're understanding how timelines work. Now, basically, what timelines are choices. So the fact that choices is showing up here as your current energy representing you, and this is how you've changed your view on life. There may have even been situations that you felt like you've been locked into for the past 20 years, or you feel like you only had that one option. So 2024 may have really opened you up to expansive thinking. And I mean, it really has. We've just shifted into this beautiful, Aquarian energy, Pluto and Aquarius, for the next 19 years. And so I feel like this big picture thinking has really got you, thinking with the swords, the Page of Swords here. So you are concocting a lot of new ideas. You are dreaming big, and you're saying, wait a second. It is 2024, about to be 2025. I can do anything. I can be anything, right? And I feel like your mind is just overflowing at times with possibility, endless possibility. And you could be having multiple streams of income. You may be opening yourself up to meeting new people, new soul tribe. This can be taking your health into a completely different direction that feels healthy and abundant. I just feel like there's so many possibilities at your fingertips these days. And you're working with new systems and, AI, and everything is changing on such a profound level. And although sometimes we may miss the simplicity, we may feel like, I wish I could go back to 1990 when we could drink out of a hose and jump in the puddles and we wouldn't be ridden with Lyme's disease, right? So it feels like, yes, it's been challenging to not feel that simplicity. But I see that it's going to settle down. It could take a couple years, but right now there's so many shifts in the timelines. But right now you're opening up to those timelines, and now is the best time to make some new choices in your life, because you are setting yourself up for the rest of your life here on earth. So what lessons will you carry into 2025? You have flexibility, right? You have flexibility showing up at the bottom of the deck. This is what's bubbling up. You have some divine detours coming in. You have some change. This is adaptability, adapting to the new earth, right? Adapting to the new you in a way, because you are evolving. You are raising your frequency and your consciousness here. This is new ideas. It's expansion, it's movement, it's flow, right? Going with the flow. And if anything you've learned is, timing here, there are certain things that we can resist and resist and resist, but ultimately, if it's not meant for us, we cannot force it. We cannot force it, because sometimes there are things out of our control, and there are things that, aren't meant for us to go towards at that time. But the biggest thing I see here in your reading goes back to the trust piece, right? Being grateful that the universe never tires of giving you opportunities. There's always doors that are opening. So even though, collective, there have been a lot of endings, right? A lot of endings in your life, a lot of maybe hard misfortunes. There's been a lot of loss. There's been a lot of maybe regret or feelings of wastefulness. Like, I wasted my time on that. I wasted 20 years on that. Can you move forward? I'm going to challenge you here. Can you move forward in order to be remembered by leaving nothing behind but love? So you can move into 2025 feeling like that 10 of Wands energy, that weight on your shoulders, which this guy has, what, four huge boulders that he has as he's walking across that tightrope. I mean, you've been practicing this. You've been practicing hanging on to all of this stuff for quite some time. It takes a lot of effort to be able to walk on that tightrope with those big old boulders. So you've been carrying some heavy things for a while. 2025 is expansive thinking, rolling into that Aquarian energy. And this Sag shift with this Wanderlust is the seeds. You're planting seeds right now into your long-term future, your legacy. That is what I have for you, collective. If you like the reading, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in. And next week, I will be putting out yearly readings where I'll do a monthly forecast for each month in 2025. So depending on when you're watching this video, they may already be out, but if not, stay tuned. I'll put them out in December here. So thank you again, collective. Lots of love.